I want to tell you just a little bit about those of you who aren't familiar with Mike DeWine, and most of you probably are, but he is our current Attorney General here in Ohio. Mike has a long history and connection with the criminal justice system and law enforcement. He began his career down in Greene County, Ohio as a prosecuting attorney there. He has also served as Lieutenant Governor. He's served as a state representative. He's served as a United States Senator. And in my opinion, has definitely reached his stride as Attorney General so far, and is doing a great job in his work as Attorney General. He has a lot to share with you, both about current issues and also about the opportunity and encouraging young people to become involved in the criminal justice system. So without further ado, Attorney General DeWine.
Prosecutor, thanks. Morris, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Dealing with the heroin problem. The only thing that truly works is community is coming together in all disciplines, which means business community, the churches have to be involved, schools, law enforcement, everybody coming together and trying to deal with this problem. I'll do this real quick. When I was a county prosecuting attorney, heroin was confined mostly to our major cities, relatively small number of people. We used to call them junkies. Even people who did drugs didn't usually do heroin. There was some psychological barrier. For whatever reason, I have some ideas, that barrier is down. Heroin is not just in cities today. Heroin is in every rural county. It's in every affluent suburb or not so affluent suburb, and it's just everywhere. A couple things have happened. One, from any of you who've ever taken a sociology course, maybe your professor can weigh in on this, but our culture's changed. Again, as I said, heroin was something that people, most people just didn't even think about doing. Even if they did goofy things and took goofy drugs and crazy things, they wouldn't do heroin. That barrier, for whatever reason, is down. So we've had a cultural change in our state and across the country. Second thing, this is business for these folks who are selling it. Now the poppies are grown in Mexico. The families down there, the cartels down there, whatever term is the precise term, I'm not really sure which. They got a business. They grow the poppies, they process it, they turn it into heroin, and bring it across our border into Ohio and into every other state. They are good business people. You can, if you have the right number to call, you can get heroin delivered to you, probably in some public parking lot somewhere, or McDonald's or some other place where it's dark and people can't really look at you. And sometimes when it's not so dark, it's just daylight. But you can do it as cheaply as you can buy a pizza. It's $15, it's $20. And they'll deliver it. So they're really great merchandisers. They will deliver it, and it's a perfect business model because you can get started for $15 or $20. It's horribly addictive. You become addicted to it. Your brain changes some, and then you got to have it, and you have to have more and more and more and more as people chase a higher. You continue to try to get a high, it takes more to get that high, and then after a while they tell me, you're not even trying to get a high, you're just trying to stay normal and function. Early stage alcoholic versus a late stage alcoholic. The late stage alcoholic, someone who's been doing it pounding it for a number of years, might consume 4 times, 5 times as much alcohol a day as an early stage alcoholic does. But a heroin can be as high as 100 to 1. So it's 100 times more what you started. So if you started with a $15 a day habit, it may end up with a $1,500 a day habit. And everything else goes out the window. Your family does. You don't care about your family. You don't care about your spouse. You don't care about your kids. You don't care about your parents. You don't care about your job. All you care about is heroin. And heroin is totally controlling these individuals. So that's the problem. What do we do about it? We do what we do in law enforcement. We have a heroin unit in our office that we stood up about 3 years ago. I can't really tell you everything that we do, but we have equipment and we have lawyers and we have agents who will come in once a local police department or a local sheriff's department is well on their way in an investigation. If they call us, we can come in and help them move it up. In other words, get somebody who's a bigger dealer, move higher up the food chain. And so that works. It works pretty well. We've had a lot of successes with that. Having said that, I think most law enforcement will tell you you cannot arrest our way out of the problem. And so we have 6 people now in my office. They all happen to be women. Some of them came out of local communities that put together grassroots efforts. And so I got them to come out of there, because what we're trying to do is maybe replicate is not the exact word, but help local communities to do things that matter. And we're in touch with people all over the state. We're watching things that work. We're watching things that don't work. So when a local community wants to come together, whether it's Defiance or whatever community it is, we can send somebody out and work with them and help them, put that together. And so I think, Jennifer Bidinger, who heads that up for us, I know has been in contact with some of the folks here in Defiance, and I think we're going to try to facilitate a meeting maybe in April or May. And I know you already are doing things. So I just applaud that kind of approach. It really takes a community effort. I put this group together in my office when I found out, as I traveled around the state, it seemed to me that the communities that were starting to make a difference in regard to heroin were communities where the people just got so sick of seeing their kids die and adults die, that they just kind of rose up in this grassroots effort. And I applaud that. And the truth is that the Attorney General, the prosecutor, the sheriff, the governor, the president, none of us can solve this problem. It's going to have to be solved. We'll do what we can do, and we'll help, but it's going to have to be solved community by community by community. And so that's we applaud what you're doing, and we want to help.